All right, and good morning, traders. Good morning and happy Monday. Unfortunately, we were not able to have our live session this morning due to some technical difficulties with the webinar platform. So what I've decided to do is go ahead and record you a quick video instead, just to kind of, still go through the markets with you and at least hopefully, capture some of what we would have covered this morning, albeit if not everything. So I do apologize, folks, but without further ado, let's jump right into the markets and have a look and see what's going on. So starting out with Pound Aussie, the very first thing we notice, of course, is that the market has in fact come down and made a new lower low. So the previous trend line was operating to here because previously this low here was the lowest low. Even though the market had tested a couple of times in the vicinity of this low, this was still always the lowest low of the move. Now we can see the market's actually changed that, right? So we had a spike up and then a spike back down where the market broke through, came back for the test, and then ultimately continued falling. So first of all, I need to go ahead and update this trend line. And I need to go ahead and place it to that high there, of course, because this here is now the new lowest low. And I also want to change this to solid because that means it is no longer broken. Okay. The second thing I want to do is, of course, I just want to identify this right here as a level of resistance, right? Past support becomes future resistance. So I'll just draw it to about there, and I'll change it to red so I know it's resistance, right? Now in terms of the signal, if you look at the signal from this morning, okay, this was operating off of an existing sell. There really wasn't much in the way of opportunity here to be had this morning, simply for the fact that the sell signal actually occurred back here. It actually occurred round about 1 a.m. this morning, thereabouts, about 1:15 a.m. this morning. And so you can see it's moving nicely, but nothing really to do here, nothing that I'm able to do here because the move is already well underway, right? Now, in terms of the capitals, we're on approach to that capital 1.618 where, we could find support. This could even fall all the way to this sub 2.618 before it then finds support and rallies back and comes back chasing after that unfulfilled 38.2%. Okay, so, in this region down here, I'm going to be thinking about, looking for buying opportunities for obvious reasons, right? Capital 1.618, which is not the anticipated de-extension because we have not had a 38.2% or better. So the 2.6, the capital 2.618 is actually the anticipated D. But in terms of the subs, we're kind of, in a similar vicinity here in terms of the sub 2.618, which is more realistic, right? Because it's just there. And the capital 1.618. So in this region, I'm looking to buy. Okay, great. Let's move on to elsewhere. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Pound CAD quickly. So with Pound CAD, right, we've been tracking this and we've been talking about this consolidation range. And we said, the Canadian pairs in particular really like to be range bound, right? I mean, currencies generally like to be range bound, but CAD pairs in particular like to be range bound, okay? And so, we see, if you look at the actual pattern of behavior for the Pound CAD, for example, you see periods of, sideways choppy movement, nice little tight ranges it produces, and then a breakout. Tight little range, breakout. Tight little range, breakout, right? Tight little range, even here, tight little range, breakout to the north. Then it started to sell off, went sideways for a little bit, sold off, right? So you can see the pattern here. You can see how pound CAD behaves. So we know that the market likes to, or at least the pound CAD likes to be range bound. And with this particular range, we had broken out to the downside, thereby making this, what was support, now resistance. But the market has since broken back into the range and is now sitting right at support, potentially giving off a buy signal. Now, there's an unfulfilled 38.2% here up at 173.74 that I'm tracking. So, I'm looking to go bullish on this longer term, medium to longer term anyway. But in the short term, we are in the process, it looks like, of potentially getting a buy signal. And we're right at support in the range. Okay. Now, in terms of a trend line, a counter trend line, should I say, let's go here. Oops. Hold on. Let's go here and stretch this out. Okay, so you can see actually, pretty favorable buying conditions, really. Because look, even the innermost trend line, or the innermost counter trend line, right? Look at that, it's all the way up there. So in terms of resistance, we have this little nest of highs right here to get through, and then nothing until resistance of the actual range. So a buy signal is a welcome thing here, certainly. And it looks like it's actually happened off of this previous candle here. Now I can play this a little bit more conservatively and wait for the close of the current candle, or alternatively I can also go off of this candle. It's just a little bit more aggressive and of course therefore a little bit riskier, but I can do it. It's not like I can't do that, right? So if I go off of this candle, I'm just curious to see what this signal is actually looking like. Right, then 170.18 would be the entry point, or potential entry point for myself. 169.79 would be my potential stop. So 36 pips in risk, which means I should be going after 54 in reward, which means 7072. 7072. So I'm just going to repurpose this line right here. 7072. I've got a nice little counter trend line break in there as well. We also have this trend line here, but this is in line with what I was saying about, this little nest of highs, right? We've got to be careful of this nest of highs. So the better game plan here, and this is just me, the more conservative side of me coming out again, as it often does. But in this particular situation, because we have an instance where the market's broken the innermost trend line here, and we have that counter trend line break, we also have resistance by way of this secondary, and again with this nest of highs. So the better approach here is to actually go off of this current candle, which means I'm not going to do anything here. I'm not going to do anything right now. I'm going to wait for the close of this current candle, right? That's the better, more conservative play. Again, the current setup as such as it is the more aggressive play, but that also makes it the riskier one, right? So I'm going to wait for the close of this current candle and then look to set up there again. Okay, the other one I was looking at this morning was Pound New Zealand. Pound Swiss might also actually give a buy signal. Pound yen I'm not particularly interested in too much at the moment, but we'll explore that Wednesday. And then pound dollar, yeah, I'm not really looking to trade pound dollar this morning either. So potential buy on pound New Zealand, but I'll have to take a look. And then potential buy on pound Swiss as well. And then in terms of the euros, I was just looking at a continuation of a sell signal on Euro Aussie. So you have a sort of a secondary sell signal coming into play after the first one. So that's Euro Aussie. EURCAD might potentially give a sell as well. We have a broken trend line there, so we'll take a quick look at that. And then outside of that, it's actually been a relatively quiet morning, so we didn't miss too much in terms of the show. It's been a relatively quiet morning. So, okay, so let me come back in here and just get a quick look at pound Kiwi, pound Swiss, and then I want to have a very quick look at Euro Aussie, Euro CAD, and that's it really. All right, so pound Kiwi, pound Swiss, Euro Aussie, Euro CAD. Right, so in the case of pound New Zealand, okay, capitals are down, subs are down. We have a maximum 50% retracement in terms of the capital AB boundary, which puts my target down at the anticipated 1.618, which of course is 187.38. So still, quite a ways away, but that is my target, 187.38 ultimately. Now, in terms of the subs, okay, the subs, this is our most recent down sub AB boundary. They are also down. And we have a new sub fib, which, as you can see from the note I've placed here, when we get a secondary sub fib like that, that confirms a C to D move of the capital Fibonacci swing, right? So when we're looking at the ABCD swing of the capital move, and we're looking, we're trying to figure out, are we on the B to C or C to D leg? Well, this is a way of giving further confirmation that we're likely on the C to D. Of course, we don't actually officially know until the D is hit and fulfilled. So, that's why it's always kind of a potential C until the very end. But we have our best estimate, and this helps in confirming the estimate. Right. Excuse me. With that being said, we have a little bit of a range going on here on pound Kiwi. Okay, and you can see the range there. So although it looks like a potential buy signal there, I want to be careful of that range. Now, there is plenty of reason for this to go long in terms of, there's an unfulfilled sub 38.2% up at 20110. But obviously we have to work with everything we've got presently, and what we've got presently, among what we have presently, is of course this sideways consolidation range with the market making its way back down to support from resistance. Okay, so looking to take a buy when we're on our way back down towards support is not exactly what you want to do. So yeah, I would leave this. It is looking like a potential buy signal there, but price action out in the field may have something to say about that, may change that by the end of the day. We may see this actually fall to support rather than rally back up toward resistance. So I'd certainly be more interested in a buy somewhere down here. It's also down closer to this trend line, which is also support, right? So I'd certainly be more interested in a buy over here. I could maybe take a play back to resistance, but taking a buy right here is not something I'm particularly interested in. Okay, and then pound Swiss. I wanted to just take a very quick look at pound Swiss. Okay, and pound Swiss, it's kind of a similar tale across the board what we're seeing here this morning, folks. The market returning to its ranges, right? The market becoming range bound again. It's a sign essentially that things in the world economy have kind of calmed down, even though they haven't, even though from a fundamental perspective they really haven't, and we're nowhere near out of the woods of the financial mess that all of this COVID business has brought on this year. Um, from a technical perspective, we can actually kind of see a calming effect taking hold in the market, which suggests, of course, a normalization more than anything, right? Not that things are getting better, but that things have been normalized, right? The poor state of things have been normalized because it's been going on for a little while now at this point, right? And so we're back inside this range. Yeah, we're not really in any place of significance with the MACD here, but we are back inside the range. I mean, there is potential for a buy signal there. I don't really trust it. I would wait for this to fall further and for the MACD to come into the buy zone as well. Right. Let's move on over to Euro Aussie, which I wanted to have a quick look at, and then EURCAD, and we'll end it there. Okay. So go ahead and open up Euro Aussie. And on Euro Aussie, it looks very much like we are chasing at a minimum this level of support right here. So at a very minimum, this level of support that I've already marked off as a level of support of significance. You can see the market chasing it. Alternatively, we may be coming after this level here. We do have a 38.2% pullback here. We actually do have that. And so seeing as we do have that, my 1.618 down here, which if I can find it, there it is. All right, so let's mark this off. My 1.618 is my anticipated target, 163.96. 163.96. And this is my anticipated 1.618. Okay, so this very well could be making its way toward the target. If I'm in this already, then I'm, happy days. I'm looking to lock in some profit as this moves. I can go off of these highs, right? I can use these highs. I can even use these automated trend lines really, and just kind of keep this stop above the automated trend line. If I'm not in this yet, however, there is no opportunity to get in. If we get a pullback here and then the market gives me a counter trend line break and a signal, okay, fine, fair enough. Then I can take that last leg, that sort of last leg, if you like, back down to support or to the target rather. But until and unless that happens, I don't really have opportunity to take advantage of here. Okay. Now, in terms of the trend lines, okay, this trend line is now broken, but it is actually still valid. And the reason it's still valid is because this is still the lowest low, right? So this is actually still valid. It's still a valid level of resistance, and it had acted, as you can see, as such, and it had also acted as a valid level of support. Past resistance becoming future support, becoming resistance once more. This trend line is also broken, but of course this too is correct. Okay, it is a valid trend line. And so, we have support. We're coming up on support. We're kind of in the range of support here. I think there might be a little bit of room left to go, and then a pullback, and then a continued move to that target. So I think, if anything, therein would lie the potential opportunity. But the opportunity, just the same, I think, is down toward this 1.618, anticipated 1.618. Okay. And then last but not least, of course, is going to be the EURCAD. So we'll go ahead and open this one up. As I said before, it looks like we're potentially getting a sell signal on EURCAD, and that is definitely very welcome. Again, another CAD pair, another pair that really likes to be range bound, and you can see that here, right? I mean, look at this consolidation range. We've been stuck inside this consolidation range for quite some time. Okay, for quite some time. Now, with regard to the trend line break, because that's what this is right here, we had a break, a test failed, and now this is looking like it's heading toward support. So I've got 12 minutes to go for the current candle, which is what I would ideally want to use for the signal. I know that out in the field, the signal's already occurred, but on the MACD, especially as I'm in the buy zone, not the sell zone, I really want to give that MACD a chance to, confirm the signal. And so for that reason, I'm going to wait for this current candle to close and then go off of that one for the signal. But I do think this has good, some good potential for a sell here, considering this is now resistance. Okay. And with that being said, everybody, once again, sincerest apologies for the issues this morning. But I hope you found some value, some use in this little quick video. We are anticipating being together again on Wednesday, same time. Okay, so do join us then if you can. If not, I hope all is well and you're doing well, and I hope you do join us whenever you can. All right. With that, everybody, that does it for me this morning. Have a lovely, lovely day, and happy Monday once again. Let's make it a great week this week. I will see you all again Wednesday. Until then, you know the drill. To your health, wealth, and happiness always, this is Christopher Guzman signing out and saying good day. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.